Well, your traditional, get bigger, faster, stronger within the strength and conditioning program, but with the hours that we have allowed to spend with them as coaches now, which was a rule that was changed a couple of years ago, we go out there and have a ball with them now. So executing, things on air, like when we're out there having, not practice, but whatever you want to call them now, we call them basically skill instruction out there. So that's what it looks like, execution during that time.
How has that execution
Been awesome. It's been really good. I've been very, very pleased with their approach to improving from when I got here till now. It's a really good trajectory to be on for those guys.
Anything that we would see on the field changing with them that the layperson would know?
Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? When you say it like that, you don't want to dumb it down too much and offend people. You're right, but
you can offend me.
But you hope that you see the ability to make making contested catches. But those things are things that show up on whatever Sports Center top 10 anyway, the way it is. So people kind of make that assumption. But I'm really, to me, when you think about improvement, really in all rooms, sometimes that improvement can be very subtle, and maybe the layperson doesn't recognize it in what's happening. And I always said, I think great players, everyone sees the 60-yard touchdowns, but not everyone really recognizes the well-run hitch route and the well-thrown hitch route that gains 7 yards, they give you a second and 3, right? And I know we talk about explosive plays and all those things matter, but all those things have a compounding effect on execution, right? And your ability to score points in the game of football. So without giving away too much stuff before we start playing football games, right, about what it looks like from those guys in that room, I would think there would be that kind of stuff.
Andy, James was just saying that he thinks we're going to see elements of things from past coordinators, and he said it's pretty multiple personnel groups, multiple formations. Is it relatively complicated, and are you happy with where the guys are in terms of understanding it?
I'm very happy with where the guys are at from an understanding standpoint. Complexity, simplicity. I think I'll go back because someone asked me a similar question about that, I think way back to my very first press conference here.
Right.
And I talked about, I think football in general is about the illusion of complexity, right? But really, simplicity typically wins. Does that make sense to you?
It does,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But multiplicity, that's a different thing, right? So multiplicity fits into the complexity, piece. And probably what coach is referring is we have a diverse room of on offense, at least, of skill players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have the running back room, tight end room, receiver room, quarterback room, right? Like there's a lot of different tools to be played with there, right? To be able to do. So I'm not sure if that's what you're referencing in the past, but that's what we're going to be about for sure.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
You're good.
You've won with a lot of different styles of quarterbacks. So what are the qualities you're looking for when you're recruiting quarterbacks? Because it doesn't seem like it would be this or this or this. There have to be some core things, though, that maybe you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think everyone in the country is looking for accuracy. Everyone in the country is looking for powerful individuals, right? People who can do things and extend plays with their feet. And then you have to factor in things like the wittiness and the intelligence and the leadership, those kind of characteristics that make a good quarterback. And I feel like in a place like Penn State, we're looking to recruit all of those kind of things, right? And we want all of those things in our players, right? Specifically the quarterback position, right? But to your point, they might look different. Some, there's, right, like what's the old Madden game, right? Well, now I can say college football now because that's coming back, right?
Yeah.
So like the sliding scale of all these things, speed and strength and intelligence, power, like there's all these different, metrics, and that's what it's like a little bit. Like everyone has different strengths and capabilities, and it's about using players and putting them in environments where their capabilities can shine.
How does Drew match those characteristics? How are you building Drew in college football 25? What are they?
Well, it goes back to, I think, some of the first things I said about how his desire to improve. And that is a very overlooked thing, and that might even sound cliche or coach speak, whatever it is, but I'm just telling you, okay, when you look at college football players, when you look at people that age, all right, a true hunger and willingness to want to improve and do everything right and and maximize, his college football experience, Drew embodies that. It's not like that for every kid. It isn't, and I've coached long enough now that I could say that with quite a bit of knowledge right behind that. So first of all, he's got an insatiable hunger to improve. In every area that we talk about him, us wanting him to grow, he's taken steps and then taken intentional steps in all those areas. right? Obviously, he's a great thrower. He's got a tremendous arm. His wittiness, I think I've said this before, is just it's his ability to see a stimulus and react to it. It's really pretty special, right? So he has the ability to make really quick decisions and the right decision.
How has he demonstrated what you said, that insatiable hunger to grow?
Well, asking questions, right? Engaging his teammates, making sure that everyone's on the same page, right? I've said this before. It really doesn't matter what we do. It just matters that we're all on the same page about it, and we're going to go out there and do it the right way. And he does a great job of being the quarterback, making sure people are on the same page and we're doing things the right way. That's the first thing to notice. His wanting and studying film every time. He's always in the quarterback lab. Looking at extra film. I see him down there. You know what I mean? Going in there, trying to do things to improve that way. And then you see the extra work that he's trying to do outside of football, outside the coaches. Are the things that are necessary to do it.
Where does
People
Go ahead.
people put quarterbacks in the pro style box and the dual threat box, which is probably simplistic, but those people would put Drew in the pro style box.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that matter, and how much does that impact what you do?
Well, it's kind of funny. We were literally just talking about something like this in the offensive staff and recruiting. And those two buckets, to kind of silos, if you will, to put people in, usually meant back in the day that one guy would throw the ball really good and the other guy didn't, but he was really athletic. And he would make things happen. Right? And I think what you see happening, and so when you talk about pro style, I don't separate it that way. To me, we're all looking for pro style quarterbacks because they have to be able to throw. Right? They have to be able to move. Right? Now, some move a little bit better than others and some throw a little bit better than others, but there's usually some sort of Mendoza line, if you will. I think it's a baseball term, by the way, right? Okay, Mendoza line that they have to cross in each of those categories to be a Division I program, quarterback, in our mind.
Coach, with Julian Fleming, obviously James has talked about his leadership and those things he's done with the room. What do you expect from him on the field as a guy that's kind of an unknown but known commodity, at least for this program?
Yep. Well, production, right? And Coach is right on in terms of what he's talking about with his leadership. And you look at Julian, and he's got an opportunity going into his last year that he wants to make something happen and be special, be a part of something special. And he's doing those things. But I want all of that to translate to execution on the field, right? And typically in my career, at least coaching, that does. If you do everything right off the field, it'll translate to success on the field for you as an individual. And if you got enough people collectively that are doing it that way, then your team's usually pretty damn good too.
Where is Grunk now compared to when he got here, and how important has his development been, considering James said that Jackson has a significant injury? He hasn't said what it was, but...
Yep. So Gronk, from the moment he got here to now, I'm not going to say night and day because that would be disrespectful to him and the training he did before, but it's significantly different. He's got 15 college practices under his belt now through the spring. He's got all the installations that we've done, all the things that that we've done. He's got how many ever months, 5 or 6 months of training in a Division I program with Coach Losey and his staff. Physically, he's changed. You know what I'm saying? His body, emotionally and mentally. You do a lot, as we all know, right? For those of us who went to college, I'm sure a lot of us did. Your first year, you grow up a lot, right? He's went through that growth in football and life. So his understanding of the offense is fantastic. His want to improve and be a dude is right where we want it to be.
One guy we heard a lot about last year, but we didn't see was Rapelier. What has he shown you through these months?
That room in general is really very impressive. The tight end room has done a great job. There's a lot of internal competition there. Obviously, everyone talks about Ty Warren, but Rapp and Dink. Luke Reynolds had a great spring. You got Joey running around, had a really good spring. But Rapp specifically, his competitiveness really sticks out to me. We're doing winter workouts, we're doing summer drills, whatever it is, you see him wanting to compete. You see him running routes on air, and the effort that he's giving in all those is commendable.
What has this adjustment period to Penn State been like for you?
What has it been like? Well, it's been awesome. I think everyone's been welcoming. I think I said that before. I really enjoy working with the staff. I think the more time that you spend with people, the more you really could get them. And the longer that I'm here, the more I really enjoy being around the staff and the camaraderie that we develop, and then the players. Moving, you know what I mean? All those things are just kind of traditional adjustments, if you will. I think the passion the fan base has is a little bit different than places I've been before, which I don't know if you have to get used to that per se, but it's kind of like, oh, well, you know what I mean? They're pretty diehard. You know, I haven't called the play yet. They told me I suck, so I was like, oh, geez. You know, I mean, that's not true. I'm teasing, of course. Yeah, right. So,
That'd be fun if it was true.
yeah, but like those kind of things, I would say the passion for the fan base and this alumni base is special.
How could you see Bo Prabula impacting the